She's finally here. I gave birth to my beautiful baby girl. It was the best day ever and the craziest experience of my life. I'm gonna talk about that, but first, there's some people I should introduce to her. This is Mr. Worldwide. This is Harry Styles. This is another Mr. Worldwide. This is Kirby. This is a trash can. Okay, so let's rewind to when I was 40 weeks pregnant. And in case you don't know, that is extremely pregnant. It's almost the most pregnant that you can be. We were all so ready to meet her, and I also was of course ready to be done with pregnancy, but there were no signs that labor was happening anytime soon. Although when I went in for my 40-week appointment, the doctor did say her head was super low, and at night sometimes it would feel like she was straight up trying to launch out of there. But my body was not allowing birth to happen yet. So a few days later, I started getting period-like cramps. And I thought, this has to be it. A lot of women describe contractions in labor as period-like cramps. But then I started gaslighting myself because a week prior, I had been having pains and aches and all that stuff, and I was convinced that that was labor. It ended up not being. This time did feel a little bit different though, because it was exactly like I was starting my period. It was that same feeling. In the morning, the cramps started off very dull and then got gradually worse as the day progressed. So when I realized, oh, this probably is definitely labor, I got so excited. I was like, yes, bring on the excruciating pain. I am so excited to meet my daughter. I'm ready. Please let these cramps get worse so my body can do its thing and give birth to her. And then I did the thing that they say not to do when you first start labor. I worked all day. Most of the times they tell you when you first start contractions to go take a big juicy nap because you're gonna need your energy. Make sure you sleep while they're not too bad and you can still sleep through them. However, I was just too excited. Napping was not gonna happen, and I got this just rush of energy. Like, there are so many things I want to get done. I'm so excited because this is happening. And honestly, I thought labor was gonna go a lot quicker than it did. Looking back, I really should have taken that day to just completely rest, even if I didn't fall asleep, just lay in bed, close my eyes. But mistakes were made. I was thinking, realistically, I could have this baby by midnight. Spoiler alert, I did not have the baby by midnight. When the contractions started getting more painful, I called Brian and I was like, hey, I'm starting to become in pain, so you might want to hurry home. He left work. He did pick up Chick-fil-A at my request because I wanted only the finest delicacy of a cuisine to fuel my body to be able to give birth. And that decision I don't regret. After dinner, I labored for a few more hours at home, and the contractions were about a steady 8 minutes apart. And then all of a sudden, they just jumped down to 3 to 4 minutes apart. And my doctor told me to go to the hospital when they were only 5 minutes apart. So at this point, I was low-key freaking out because I thought I would have a gradual decrease in the number of minutes apart, you know, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. It just jumped down, and I was like, okay, it's go time. Let's get to the hospital. And of course, we hit every single red light on the way there. Let me tell you, contractions in the car are no joke. You're hitting every bump in the road, and you can't walk off the pain because you're stuck in the car. Anyways, we got to the hospital. A nurse checked how far along I was, and at that point of admission, I was 5 centimeters dilated. And you have to be a 10 to push. So that seems pretty good, halfway there, right? And I was wanting to try to give birth without the epidural. So I was like, you know what? I got this. Yeah, it's gonna get more painful, but it's gonna go quick, I think. Spoiler alert, it did not go quick and I ended up taking the epidural. But let's talk about before I took it. I did labor for a few hours without it. It was very painful, as one would expect with childbirth, but it really felt like things were happening down there. I thought, this baby is coming so soon, she's gonna fall right out of me. And then a nurse came to check me again after hours of labor, and I was still at 5 centimeters. It was at this point I knew I probably wanted the epidural because I had no idea how much longer this was gonna take. It was also so late into the night that I was exhausted, and anytime I got a contraction, I felt like I was going to pass out. I knew that wouldn't be a good situation for me, the baby, or anyone involved if I passed out, and I just didn't want that experience. So I decided to get the epidural, and it was a lot more peaceful after that. Look how I'm just vibing. And then a few hours later, I pushed baby baby girl out. The moment I saw her face, I started crying so many happy tears. I know it's probably hard for you guys to believe that I cried, but I did. Here's proof. It truly felt like a magical moment. I couldn't believe it was real. It was also such a crazy concept to think that the baby that had been in my tummy for 9 months was the baby that I was seeing in front of my face now. Now we're soaking up all the sweet moments that we can. I'm really just enjoying this stage that I know is gonna go so fast, so I'm trying not to blink, I'm trying not to get distracted and just focus on it because it's gonna fly by. Which I've definitely already cried about. I've already cried about my daughter growing up and she's fresh out of the womb. But actually, I cried about her growing up before she was even born, when I was still pregnant. So I think that's just a thing that moms do. On a side note though, recovery is crazy. The first trip to the bathroom after giving birth traumatized me. Oh, and my first meal after giving birth was French toast with eggs and bacon. I figured you guys would want to know that. It's a very key detail to the story. Okay, so I hope that made sense and that I didn't say things wrong because I really am operating on one brain cell for real this time, guys. There's been very little sleep, so if I get the comments, oh my gosh, you look so tired, guys, I'm a mother now. I'm gonna be tired for the rest of my life, okay? But it's worth it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go hang out with my baby now.